it's been kind of in the news a little bit, and other podcasters or YouTubers or rumblers or whatever you want to call them. People are a little concerned. Things are starting to kind of be spoken about in the backgrounds and whispers and whatnot that we may be looking at some concerns this coming weekend for Trump. So, you can watch this after the weekend and look back and say, Chris had no idea what he was talking about. Everything was perfectly fine. It was great. Or you say it was absolute pandemonium and chaos. Chris was way off. He thought it wasn't going to be anything major. I don't know what it's going to be. It may not be anything at all, but there's a few calls for concern, and I want to just kind of present those to you again because I think it's important that we have our antenna up. If you're a carry, if you have your carry license, right, you want to have your antenna up, not because you want to go do something. You don't want to ever have to use it. You don't want to have to defend anybody. You want to de-escalate any other kind of way, but if you're in a situation that could be risky, you always have that antenna up. We've been talking about this for a long time. I know I can't remember who it was. And I don't think it was Dan Bongino. We're going to go to a clip of him in just a minute, but there was somebody else was saying there was, the risk element of somebody taking out Trump. And of course we saw the one assassination attempt. It may have been Tucker Carlson, but of course we saw the one assassination attempt on camera. And then there was the other one at the golf course, that was, diverted quickly. But, and I think there was a third one. There was a third one. And then that crazy Cybertruck thing that I wasn't going for Trump, but necessarily, but there's just all kinds of madness and everything like that. And we know there's going to be more, riots or protests or whatever you want to call it. I love what South Park did when they came back from the coronavirus thing and said,
"What's going on now? Something at the town square. Everyone's gathering. Well, are we protesting or are we rioting?"
All looks about the same depending on who you are, I guess. So let's look at this real quick because, again, things are getting a little sketchy out there. This is from AP News. It says Trump's inauguration coincides with an unprecedented string of high-stakes security events in D.C., meaning there's a lot going on at one time, right? So everyone's going to kind of be thin in their resources. Everybody's going to be stretched a little thin, may not have the numbers. People may be tired and not on their A game. We'll look at a few of these. We won't linger here. Remember, guys, all the links that I use are always going to be in the show notes, so you can always go check those out. But yeah, so AP says the last time president was inaugurated, there was a global pandemic and a violent siege at the very spot at the U.S. Capitol where the ceremony takes place. This time, the event is happening as part of an unprecedented string of high-stakes security events in the nation's capital. The January 20 swearing-in caps a 2-week stretch of national special security events, occasions of the highest national significance that get a boost in federal funding and are led by the U.S. Secret Service. The others include the electoral count, that was January 6th, on Monday, former President Jimmy Carter's state funeral, on Thursday. There's also a major rally plan for President-elect Donald Trump on January 19th at Capital One Arena. And I will be honest with you, that's probably the one that I would be the most concerned about around that time because he hadn't been sworn in yet, which is on the 20th. I don't know. To me, if something was going to happen, maybe the 19th. But then again, maybe security is better there than it is at the inauguration where, wide open spaces and everything like that. Who knows? And again, I'm not hoping anything happens. I definitely hope nothing happens. But again, it doesn't hurt to have your antenna up. This has never happened before. Matt McCool, the U.S. Secret Service special agent in charge of the Washington field office, said of the back-to-back events, but we're flexible and adaptable. We're going to be prepared. Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance will take the oath of office from the west front of the Capitol amid extra tight security. Some elements like a sea of federal agents and police will be visible. Others like bomb detection devices, snipers, and radiation detectors will be harder to spot. The outgoing President Joe Biden will attend the inauguration, and it's customary for the living former presidents to attend as well. Trump, a Republican, is also putting his own mark on the event by being the first president-elect to invite world leaders to his inauguration. At least one. Argentine President Javier Milei, who's killing it, by the way, I mean, just doing a fantastic job, is planning to be there. Trump's inauguration will stand in stark contrast to Biden's 4 years ago, an event Trump skipped amid his false claims that the blah, blah, blah. Now you get into all that, even though stuff's been proven. But that's pretty much it from there. Like I said, you've got Jimmy Carter's funeral, the ballot count, the electoral college count, the rally that he's going to do on the 19th, and then the swearing in, the inauguration on the 20th. I guess that's a lot for what all they have to do. In my mind, of someone who works Monday through Friday, and someone who used to work nights and weekends and everything, that doesn't seem like a lot. But then again, what all you need, what resources, how much like homework you have to do before each event. I've never had to do any of that. So I'm sure it is a lot and a lot on them, but they know ahead of time. So I'm hoping they take all the precautions and everything's safe. Somebody I do appreciate their voice is Dan Bongino. Again, I mentioned him earlier. Former Secret Service, former cop, and got is the biggest channel on Rumble. I want to say one of the biggest channels out there right now for sure. And I'll leave a link to his show down in the show notes below, obviously, and then a link to the clip that I'm about to use. But I did pull a little bit of the video from I think it was a week ago, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in that ballpark. Might have been 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I think it was a week ago. But he had this to say about his concerns as well.
The inauguration's coming up. We're 2 weeks away. Folks, I'm really hesitant to talk about this, but I feel an obligation to put it out there because I don't have any other avenue to do it other than you guys in the Bongino Army. I don't think the Secret Service is prepared. And I think the Secret Service, along with the FBI, are lying to this transition team. This transition team knows it. And unfortunately, there's nothing they can do until they formally take power in 2 weeks. But when they take power in 2 weeks, Donald Trump is going to be sitting there exposed at the inauguration.
Yeah, so there you go. Again, former U.S. Secret Service cop, just, the real deal there. You're talking about the transition team there, something I didn't hit on. But yeah, like who you trust, who you not trust, what's the setup like, how things looking. He's going to be wide open. And so his concern obviously was more on the inauguration day. A couple of clips here from the FBI. I want to say both of these are the FBI, but we'll look at these real quick and see if they might seem a little suspicious or comforting. They may be very comforting to some people. But this is from George over on X. I will leave links again to all these down below so you can check it out. It says, oh no, the FBI just announced that there are no threats to President Trump's inauguration based on their knowledge. Should we believe the opposite? Should I be worried as an attendee? Let's see what they have to say.
We are not currently tracking any specific or credible threats to the inaugural ceremony or to the Capitol complex. We will continue to work closely with our partners to share information and identify and disrupt any threats that may emerge. We are not currently...
Okay, so again, is it comforting or is it, I don't know, like why talk about it if there's no threats? We making announcements that ahead of time, like, hey, everything's gonna be cool, guys. Don't worry. It's gonna be cool. It'll be cool. Or is this a conversation that's being had? Which I think it should be. But I mean, again, it's the FBI we're talking about. How much do we trust these guys? All right, let's look at another one here. This is Jake Sullivan on White House's thingamajig here. Let's see, from MJ Truth Ultra. What an odd thing for Jake Sullivan to say. I hope this is my last time at this podium. The only thing that would bring me back is an unexpected event in the next few days. ... Let's see what the video says, because we want to see what the ending of that statement is, sir.
I hope this is my last time at this podium, at least for a little while. I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean, the only thing that would bring me back is an unexpected event in the next few days, which, as you all know, is totally possible given everything you've seen over the course of the past years. But if it is, in fact, my last time before you, I just want to say thank you for what you guys do every day. Thank you for... I hope this is my last time at this podium, at least for a little while. I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean, the only thing that would bring me back is an unexpected event in the next few days, which, as you all know, is totally possible given everything.
Which you all know is totally possible. So Yeah, I mean, it's always totally possible. Again, I don't want to be one of those guys like, let me hang on every word everyone says and trust them, or let me hang on every word everyone says and distrust them. But again, I just think it's good to kind of keep your head on a swivel. And so, again, I would say for anyone, whether you like Trump or you don't like Trump, you vote for him or not, definitely pray for his safety. You know, I'm not a Biden supporter. I can't stand Kamala, but I pray for their safety. I pray for their well-being. And, you know, I pray that if they don't know the Lord, that they end up coming to know the Lord, you know. So pray for Trump, pray for his staff, pray for their safety, and everyone that's going to be attending these events. Again, it is an opportune time for something really scary, really nasty to go down. And obviously we don't want that to happen. So hopefully nothing happens. But again, just throwing that out there a little bit. People are talking, people are a little concerned. And, you know, as someone who doesn't want to see anything like that, I'm obviously concerned too. And hope all goes well. And I do hope this is a very smooth transition. So what do you guys think?
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.